we want to bring in Dr. Robert Rabil. He's a professor of political science at Florida Atlantic University. Dr. Rabil, great to see you, sir. A lot to talk about today.
It's a pleasure to be on your show, Ms. Cake. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Let's get to Venezuela and these headlines this morning.
Please.
Carla Babb was just reporting on the LA Times, reporting Trinidad and Tobago opening airports to our U.S. military now. Only 7 miles separate Venezuela and this twin island nation. And meanwhile, late yesterday, this headline, President Trump designating the Maduro regime a foreign terrorist organizations. These are major developments, Dr. Rabil.
Right.
They're significant on the world stage.
Correct. Yes. Well, as a matter of fact, I think the president is tightening the noose around Maduro and his regime. And I think myself, really, given the armadas that the president spoke about and giving really the mobilization of American forces, I think that the president is looking now for Maduro to cede his power, for his regime to cede his power. And I think that the president might not invade, but he might go ahead, and if he doesn't cede power, he might, strike, at certain areas, in Venezuela, given that it has been designated as a terrorist organization. And let me add something very important. And I think this is in line with the new national security strategies that United States just issued only recently in November. And in that, United States now is putting much premium and emphasis on the Western Hemisphere. So myself, when I look at what's happening, I think that President Trump is revitalizing the Monroe Doctrine, and we're going to call it now the Trump-Monroe Doctrine.
Yeah, he certainly dusted it off. The president, I want to get your take on this. This Truth Social post. Carla Babb covered it in her reporting a moment ago. The president pushed out last night this message: Venezuela completely surrounded by the largest armada ever assembled in the history of South America. He went on in this post: it will only get bigger and will shock them. The shock will be nothing like they've ever seen before until such a time, I'm curious about this, they returned to the United States all of the oil, land, and other assets that they previously stole from us. What is the president referring to, Dr. Rabil?
Well, he's referring mainly during the Hugo Chavez regime and during the Maduro regime. You had a lot of expropriation, of oil fields that was managed by companies, including United States company. And the president believes that those oil fields and what's happening, these are or were stolen by the Maduro regime. So this is what he's referring to. And again, as I mentioned, he is really tightening the noose. And the message now is so clear that Maduro has to cede power.
Yeah. Well, he also ordered this total and complete blockade of all the sanctioned oil tankers going into and out of Venezuela. Right? So oil, Dr. Rabil, it makes up 85% of their economy. If he chokes off that money flow, how much longer can the Venezuelan economy survive?
Well, not long. And I hope myself that the Maduro regime will come, to the conclusion that his time is over, has ended, and he has to surrender power. So I think myself to the right people who won the election in 2024.
I'm curious about this with your thoughts on this, Dr. Rabil. The president is saying that the campaign on the drug boats, the drug boat strikes, is all about stopping the flow of drugs. Certainly, the administration is taking heat on this, both in this country and abroad. Admiral Frank Bradley is going to be on the Hill today sharing, we understand, some unedited versions of this, trying to quell concerns from lawmakers. But a lot of pushback from our friends and foes globally. In fact, some countries calling the boat strikes attacks against civilians. Your take?
My take is the president is doing the right thing. As a matter of fact, really is a direct havoc to the United States. We have approximately over 200 people that they are dying from the age of 18 to 45 in United States on account of the opioids that's being smuggled into United States. And the president already has designated, really the Maduro regime as a terrorist organization. And more so, the United States has been in war with narco-trafficker. And he has, as a matter of fact, designated Venezuela as a narco country. So from that perspective, and from the perspective of protecting and safeguarding United States, I stand with the president 150%. And more so, let me add this, and as I mentioned to you, now the picture for me is being complete. In what? The president really, as a matter of fact, he is really, his policy now to go ahead and, as I mentioned, revitalizing the Monroe Doctrine. Yeah. Really, since the 1990s, Ms. Cake, we haven't paid much attention to what's happening south of our border. And today, Venezuela is a gate to reintroduce, the power and influence of the United States. It's our neighborhood, and we don't want merely anti-imperialist, Marxist, Iranian, communist next to our border.
Yeah, they've been infiltrating it for 30, 40 years. Correct. Professor of Political Science at Florida Atlantic University, Dr. Robert Rabil. Sir, great to have you on, as always. Appreciate your time.
It's my pleasure, Ms. Cake. I wish you a wonderful day.
You as well, sir.